Hey, what's up? This is Chad Altman, here to do a video today on the power of vulnerability. In my life, plenty of times I have been scared to open up, closed off, building walls to the people around me, scared to connect to anyone. This happened really the most in my active addiction. Every single day I was scared that somebody was going to see me for the real me, and they were just going to it's almost like somebody was going to pop out of a corner and they were going to find me, and I was going to just be revealed of the person that I truly was, because I was so ashamed and so scared for you to really see who I was. I wore my heart on the inside. I wore this tough persona on the out, because I was so afraid that if you got close to me that something was going to happen, whether it be that you were going to leave me or that you were going to hurt me. But the truth of the matter in that situation is the only person that I was really hurting was myself. If I would have chose vulnerability, if I would have chose the opportunity to open myself, to create empathy, to lower the walls that I had built through my active addiction, I could have had people show up that would have helped me. One of the greatest things and gifts that I've ever given myself was the ability to say, you know what? I need help. That moment of vulnerability for me changed the course of what would be my whole entire life and build what I've got today. That whole cornerstone of that one thing saying, I need help. Maybe right now you're somewhere in your life and you're sitting at a crossroads. Or maybe you're in active addiction right now yourself and you don't know what to do. There is help available, whatever situation it is that you're facing, but the most important thing that you have to do is you have to advocate for yourself and you have to get vulnerable. The beautiful thing is, from a path of vulnerability, we may be able to launch a whole course of action that can change the whole direction of our whole entire existence. We can become joyous about our vulnerability. The things that we kept in secret, hidden for so long because we were so scared to show any other human being who we were, can become the whole cornerstone and the keystone that we stand upon that creates our new version of ourself. I was so broken and so lost in active addiction. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how I was going to get out of that cycle. I didn't know how I was going to get to be a father again. I didn't know how I was going to be able to navigate my wife just dying. All of these things were existing at the same time. I had tried for so many different courses to figure it out on my own, but I couldn't. I couldn't do anything on my own because I was unwilling to get vulnerable. I was unwilling to admit that, hey, this is a problem for me. Unwilling to say, I am completely broken and hurting right now. But see, the power of the vulnerability was me asking for the help, getting vulnerable, saying, I am dying inside. I need an answer for this. I was a broken individual with layers of trauma after trauma after trauma stacked on top of each other. I had just witnessed my wife in a terrible accident right in front of me. My son was 5.5 months old at the time. My oldest son at that time was 4. And I had life just right there in my face. And I had a moment. I could have chosen to continue to numb my life until the end, just completely dove harder into my addiction, just numbing out. But I chose to say, you know what? 1, I can't do this by myself. 2, I am completely broken. And 3, I'm going to lean into the darkness, which ended up being the light. I leaned into the scary part because the addiction had felt so normal to me. It was my light. Instead, I chose to lean into the darkness, which was the light, which felt scary to me. Going to a treatment facility felt weird to me. That felt strange to me. See, using drugs felt normal to me. Unhealthy relationships felt normal to me. Broken relationships with men felt normal to me. Women that loved me felt unnormal to me. Having a healthy relationship felt unnormal to me. Uncontrolling my kids constantly felt unnormal to me. See, my traumas and my things from my childhood manifested itself in so many different ways, in so many different platforms in my life. I was lost. I was utterly broken, but I chose to say, I don't know what to do. I had to become self-aware by really looking at the patterns in my life and realizing that by myself, I could not solve them. But with that self-awareness and asking for some help and choosing myself and choosing to lean into the darkness, which is light, I found answers for myself. I started breaking those patterns by being vulnerable with myself. I started breaking the molds of addiction by being vulnerable with myself. I became an uncontrolling father by being vulnerable with myself. And the crazy and most beautiful thing about it is it's available for you too. The gift of vulnerability will open empathy for yourself. It will teach you how to love yourself again. It'll teach you the power which resides inside of you. It will allow for the blocks to come to the surface. You have to be aware of them though, and we have to look for them. See, when we start to become vulnerable for ourselves, it starts to become a little trickier sometimes the way it shows itself, our traumas to us. You know, it could be the big shocker of trauma is, post-traumatic stress, right? Like moments bring these triggers up and we get triggered and stuff. But what about the little sneaky stuff, like I can't leave laundry sitting on the couch. I'm talking about myself. I couldn't leave laundry on my couch after doing it because it had to be neat and order. Or I couldn't have my kids' toys strewn about because I had to have everything nice and in order. But really what it was is I was trying to control everything around me because I was not okay with what I was feeling inside of myself. See, the power of vulnerability will get you closer to the version of you, which will create more work for you to do. I have to be honest with you. It will create more work, but it will be beautiful work. And you will love yourself more for it because whatever it is that's showing up in your life and that is keeping you trapped is going to continue to show up until we lean into it and we do the work ahead of us. I hope this video has sat with you in a place today that has allowed you to reflect. And maybe you can see this point in your life where you need to be vulnerable. If you need somebody to help hold your hand through the process and walk you through the vulnerability and coach you through to the highest version of yourself, just like this video, subscribe to my channel for more. And if you're looking for a coaching opportunity, you can go to my website, chadaltman.com. It's in my YouTube channel. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Continue to look to search for the highest version of yourself with the journey within. And as always, have a blessed day. I'll talk to you guys soon.